Hey, my brothers and sisters, Michael James here, and today I would like to share the healing technique that I use for deep, loving healing. So, I would like to describe what blocks are, what that defines. It's past upsets, past trauma, any negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions, anger, sadness, depression, feeling unworthy, feeling unloved, feeling not good enough for something, etc., etc. Anything negative, which when we experience that, we are telling ourselves, which that's a BS lie, my brothers and sisters, we are telling ourselves that we are alone in this, that God is not there. But God is always there waiting for us to love ourselves and to invite Him in even more. So, I'd like to start off by giving you an example of the healing technique of what I use. Now, I also want to say that whatever healing technique you use, that's fine, my brothers and sisters. Just always put God into it. But I want to compare it from my personal example of other healing techniques that I used compared to this one that I stay firm with. If you lived 10 minutes away from your house, would you type in the GPS, your route to your job, and travel 2 hours out of your way, then get to work? Or would you type in your GPS and take that 10-minute route to your job? That is how it is with the healing technique that I use. It's the most efficient, most fastest, most deepest, and most loving healing technique you can do. So, without further ado, here we go. Hey, can you give me a drum roll, please? The mirror exercise. There's 4 steps to the mirror exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start healing and throw all that negative stuff out the door. Okay, line 1. Let's just take an example and find an upset out of anywhere as an example. Oh, there goes an upset. Okay, there goes an example. I'm upset at Bob for being mean to me. Line 2, we switch it, point it to ourselves. I'm upset at myself for being mean to myself. And what that means, brothers and sisters, is we have to really, truly be honest, really deep with ourselves, really intimate with ourselves, and find out all the places where we were being mean to ourselves, thinking we were unworthy, thinking we weren't good enough, putting ourselves down, and that might even also entail calling ourselves names. Oh, you jerk. Oh, you're stupid. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. Blah, 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 blah. That's being mean to yourself. You wouldn't be mean to someone else that you loved intentionally, would you, my brother? Would you, my sister? So why be mean to yourself when truly you are loved? God loves you, and really when you get into the core of it, you love yourself unconditionally, internally in your heart. So line 3, is this statement true? Yes, it's always true, my brothers and sisters. No matter what comes up with line 1, and when you point that arrow to yourself and switch it to yourself, in line 2, when you get to statement 3, line 3, it's always true. So step 4 is giving yourself what you need, okay? Now, it's safe to explore internally what you need for love and different ways that you can put God into that. Me, how I heal, okay? I like to look down. I like to physically give myself a hug, look down at my heart, because that really gets me to meditate and focus and drop into peace, into my heart, to really feel my feelings with myself and with God. And when you see God, that's okay. However you see God, I'll show you how I see God. I see God with long white flowing hair and a long white flowing beard and a nice white robe on with Air Jordans on. No, I'm kidding. So however you connect with God in that space, in line 4, to give yourself what you need. See God hugging yourself. See yourself hugging yourself. And go back to all those times from the age of 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, however far back as you can remember that upset occurring, go back and give those past versions of yourself love. Really peel it back until you feel complete peace there. Really give yourself love until you feel complete peace there. So if your child or if a family member was traumatized and they were shaking and they didn't feel good, they were shaking, what would you do? You would hold them and give them love until they stopped shaking and they felt good and peaceful. So the same way with the mirror exercise, with line 2, point that to yourself and start giving yourself that love until you feel total peace in that space. Explore. Explore what you need in that space as far as love to make yourself feel better there. Put God into that space. See God hugging you. See God loving you. Okay? Then at the end, you desire to ground into it. For me, I've had many different variations of grounding into it. First, I used to see myself with a crown on, with a peace and love sign, or a king's robe with a peace and love sign on it, or a big, huge, tall redwood tree, and see the roots grounding into my head and into my chest, into my heart with peace and love signs. And I used to see God holding me as a small infant, as a child, cradled and swaddled in his arms, loving me and holding me. So just really explore what you need in those areas to ground into it, to give yourself peace and love. And remember, brothers and sisters, we're not separate from God. We're not separate from love. God is love. Love is God. God created us out of love. God broke your mold out of love. You are blessed. You are loved. And there is never a second that you do not love yourself. You might think that you do not love yourself. But really, when you drop into your heart, point that arrow down to your heart and get intimate with your heart, you really, truly do love yourself unconditionally. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything else that you would like me to talk about, feel free to add it in the comments below. And remember, love always. Peace and love. Michael James. Love you, brothers and sisters.